The data flow concept is an essential thing to understand if you want to be effective at LabVIEW programming. I've assembled a demonstration block diagram that does a sequence of calculations as we flow from left to right. So let me start afresh here, and I'm going to highlight the execution of this block diagram. And then as it runs, pay attention to the little dots moving around. That gives you an idea of how values are being calculated from each node and then passed to the next. So we're going to look at this a couple different times. And I'll point out some features here. Let me again reinitialize all my values. I'll get some non-zero values back here for X and Y. Notice that this value updates fairly quickly. These values are now updating that we're inside the for loop. There we see the X greater than Y indicator come on. And then finally, we see the indication of Z. So if we now look at the block diagram side of things again, for example, watch right here. We see that one terminal or one wire contains valid data, the other does not. So the divide node does not actually execute until it receives values on all of its inputs. So that's the key concept of data flow, is that we need all terminals to have valid data before it can actually, or before an individual node or sub-VI can execute. NAN is not a number, by the way, which is because of my zeros. So data flow is very, very important to understanding how the when a structure such as a for loop structure is it might be evaluating internally, but it does not actually produce any results on its output until it's completely done internally, and then it generates results that can be passed on to the rest of the diagram. And that's the idea of data flow.